And we're live.
You remember, I was just thinking when you were saying mic check, there was I don't know if this is, I think it was right when Reels started taking off. It was clown check. Do you remember that? It was like Insane Clown Posse. Like, what do they call them?
No, but I remember when I was in high school. So when this have to be?
Not
Yesterday?
Guidos.
No. Well, like 7 years ago, I was in high school. I think I was a freshman or sophomore. And there was this thing going around where, oh, fuck, what was it? There was clowns, like, showing up at people's houses at, like, midnight or 2 a.m., or they were doing graffiti or doing something, and it was showing up on the news. And it was, like, kind of close to Halloween, but it wasn't connected.
No.
It was just random weird shit.
And they weren't, like, doing anything. They were just showing up. Like,
just
people were taking pictures of them and shit like that.
They were taking pictures, and they would just stand outside your house and stare at, like, it's like, okay, it's a prank, but really fucking creepy prank.
You're going to get shot.
Yeah, and then we had this other thing where this kid in my, well, we don't know who the fuck did it, but it was coincidental because it was in my neighborhood. Somebody dropped off like a 80s or 90s TV screen. No. All right, reset the story. This was still I was in high school. Somebody showed up to a house with a TV, like a 70s, 80s TV, as their head. Like, they,
that's pretty cool.
Use it like a mask. Yeah, cool prop. But if someone shows up to your Ring doorbell camera like that at, like, midnight,
no,
it's pretty creepy. So the person did that once or twice, and everyone thought it was this one kid in our grade because he actually had one of those old school TVs he used for, like, a prop. And we were like, dude, it's you. And they're like, he's like, no, like, it's really actually not me this time. Like, but it's super coincidental.
So what happened? You just never saw it again?
Yeah, it just kind of stopped.
Damn.
Yeah. Because a lot of times, you can pull off something like that, but if you continue with it, you're riding a fine line between getting busted and staying anonymous. Like, I actually ran for, like, the first 3 months of high school and senior year, or was it junior year? Senior year, I think it was. I ran a meme account that fucking crushed, dude. Fucking crushed. I drop a meme in the first block, everyone would be talking about it, fucking all day in the hallways.
Give me one of your best memes that you can remember.
Well, they were very specific to the school.
And I get it, you need context in a picture, but like...
So, they'd serve these Bosco cheese sticks, right? And so it was always a joke because they'd mention them on the announcements, like, gotta get the fucking they're the fucking basic-ass cheese sticks, right? And so I'd get one of those, like, porno memes to where, like, the girl, it's like stringy cum, like, from her mouth, and I'd replace it with the Bosco sticks, and then it'd be like, gotta love the cheesy Bosco sticks. Yeah.
Come get your cheese.
So one was that. Another one was, dude, my prime was when I was in a photography class, and the photography class, like, whoever led it, that was where they did the news.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I came to class, and the news person used my computer in that class and didn't log out.
Ooh,
Big mistake. So I had access to all the clips they filmed of this one kid on a green screen.
Yeah.
So I took it and just made, like, a funny meme where it's like, many of him, like, clones of him dancing, like, all kinds of backgrounds. You'd have to see it to, like, get it. But fucking crushed. People were, like, dying laughing about it. And then the kid that ran the news was commenting. He's like, how the fuck did you get these? These were on my, like, personal drive. Like, dude, people were so mind-fucked about it. And then I had another one.
Did people know you ran the page? Nice.
No.
So it was anonymous.
Yes, it was anonymous. And it went on for, like I said, like 3 months. Like, I'd drop on me maybe like once or twice a week, and again they would, like, crush, and got up to like 1,000 followers, like, pretty quick, like, all, like, school people. And then the school started cracking down a little bit. He started questioning people. They were like, hey, do you know anything about this? Who runs this? Blah blah blah. And so they were trying to figure it out, and they pulled in, like, a number of different, like, kids, but they never pulled me to ask me if I did it, and because I didn't tell anyone about it.
Yeah.
I think my close friend knew, but besides that, it was on the low. And then
that would hurt to, like, not take the credit.
Exactly.
Like,
I never.
Like, oh man.
Exactly. I never said it was me, but some people by the end of the year knew, but
Yeah.
it still wasn't like confirmed, and I couldn't take it because I'm not getting expelled
No.
my senior year.
No,
over
once
something
you're
stupid.
that deep, no.
Yeah. So anyway, fast forward midway through having the account, so like a month or two of it's going on, they start questioning people. This other kid, he was trying to compete with me, and so he made a meme. Well, he didn't know it was me, but he made a meme account as well, trying to be funny. His memes fucking blew. Everyone said, this account sucks. You're just trying to copy, so-and-so, and they didn't know it was me. So again, like I wanted to take the credit, but I was like, nah, let it be
Order
quiet.
66 his ass.
Yeah, and so he was kind of getting like, blasted. People were like stop, like this, you're just trying to feed off that. And but because he did that, people started, the rumor started going around that he had a meme account, and so the administrators got him, and he was suspended for 2 weeks
because they thought
his was mine.
Nice.
So essentially, I got another kid suspended.
You took down the competition.
I took down the competition without doing anything.
And they're like, how is he still running the memes?
And I posted another meme. Yeah, I would, and sometimes I'd post it at certain times to where you wouldn't suspect it's me. Like, if I was, I'd either do it like as a class ends, so it's like in the middle of the hallway, so it's like they have no clue.
Yeah.
Or I'd do it when I was like getting on a bus to go to another school for a certain program. I'd post like while I'm on the bus or something like that, and they'd be like, where is he in school? And it's like, I'm not there.
So when the 10-year reunion comes around, you're
Yeah.
gonna be like, hey guys,
It was me. Yeah.
It was me. You remember that meme page?
Dude,
No,
it
was
carried
me.
on for forever. That I had to, first of all, I closed it down at one point because the heat was coming up,
Oh,
okay?
shit.
Then I brought it back after the heat died down a little bit and revitalized it for like a couple weeks, but then again, the heat was coming up, the kid got suspended, and that's when I was like, okay, I gotta stop this shit, But even once I stopped it and put the Instagram on private, there was like 300 requests to follow the account. Like, people were still trying to see
be
the
tough
memes and
to curate that. To
Yeah.
be like, oh, I don't want to let in some like
who's what.
teachers.
Yeah.
And they're making burner accounts probably trying
Yeah,
to get in.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Damn.
Yeah, and
Good
I
times.
was most worried about if they tried to pull the IP address of the Instagram, then they might be able to get me. Yeah. But yeah, those fat ass administrators, y'all can suck it.
Those daggone kids.
Those daggone kids. Yeah, I had some ones that walked the line. Like, the closest one that walked the line was this meme. So we had a history teacher. It's always a history teacher.
Ooh.
That he ended up getting arrested for sending like a nude picture of one of the girls in my grade. And this was like going.
Did that picture go around?
No. But and she didn't go on with it. She he was arrested or whatever. But nothing. The arrest hadn't happened yet. But everyone knew the room or whatever. They didn't know for sure who the girl was, but we all kind of knew. And this one meme I posted was another one of those porn memes where it doesn't show obviously anything, but it's like basically a girl, being held up in the air, right? Okay, like she's riding it. And the guy, I'd photoshopped the picture of the teacher, the face of the teacher on the guy. And coincidentally, the girl he's holding has the same kind of dark hair color as the girl. And so, dude,
It lit up.
people, dude, that one crushed, too. People are like, this is
Imagine
perfect.
having the balls as the teacher, unless you had like this gut feeling that she wanted it. Like, why are you sending off dick pics to a 17, 18-year-old?
Yeah. It's
Unless
a bad
like
move, dude.
y'all had talked for, which it still doesn't.
First of all,
it's-
you got to be 18.
First off, she got to be 18 for sure, and it's still frowned upon a little bit, but it's
For sure.
at least okay. But it's like
Legally, yeah.
what kind of dude does it take? She's like, you know what, I'm gonna send it. She gonna like this one.
Yeah.
It's like, no,
Well, dude, that's another thing is like, because I told Maddie this, because the thing with most gyms, especially commercial gyms, a lot of girls like Maddie, any girl that's in high school, they go to the gym, they're going to get a lot of attention. They're young, wearing sports bra, whatever. But they're not just getting attention. They're not primarily getting attention from people their age. They're getting 30-year-old, 40-year-old, 50, 60-year-old men that are saying, hey, how you doing? Oh, like, let me show you this exercise. Or, hey, are you trying to compete? Like, they're giving this small talk. Why the fuck are you talking to my daughter? Or why the fuck are you talking to so-and-so who's 30, 40 years younger than you? And you're, like, kind of sweet-talking her? like grooming her.
It's different. The context for sure. It's like the type of talk.
Not every scenario is that way, but
it's the context.
I've seen and heard a lot where I'm like, why are you trying to like work out with this 14-year-old girl? It's creepy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, where are you going with this? And then you hear the conversations when it's just guy talk, and they're like, oh, she's only like 16, or did you know she's in high school? Yeah. It's like, okay, this is getting, weird. But that's like a whole thing where it's, men need to be men again. Yeah. And that means a lot of things, but one of those is like acknowledging, hey, if you're 40 and she's 20, unless you're like Hugh Hefner and you're a billionaire and you want to do whatever the fuck, you need to like respect that, hey, this isn't productive for her life. This isn't good for like my life.
And it needs to be in that situation, and who am I? I'm not the judge or jury or whoever to judge, but if she's pursuing, then it's different. If the 20-year-old's like, oh, if she starts, is like making the forwards, then it's like, okay, well then it's totally cool, but it's definitely it's weird.
Yeah,
going the opposite way.
I'm not saying anything like legally, and I think once they're past like college age, like that 25 and up, I get age gaps are going to be what they are, but I just feel like when even if they're legal, there's this young adult age to where the older guy is always going to seem more attractive because he's probably more well off, more successful, nicer car, has a job, has a house, whatever, versus the people their age don't have those things. But you're kind of, a lot of these guys know their intentions going in, They're not actually trying to have a sustainable relationship with a 21-year-old if they're 45, 58, whatever it is.
And trying to get one on for old time's sake.
And I just don't think it's good for society. Whether it happens or not, whether both parties are happy, it is what it is. But I just feel like that's a societal thing where it's like, gosh,
Yeah, but at the end of the day, if they both want it, then who's to judge,
That's true. And I will say, double standard, I probably wouldn't have as much issue if it was the other way.
Oh, for sure. No, I'm going to be, if I see that 20-year-old going after that 40-year-old, I'm going to be like, damn, that dude's a killer.
Yeah. So to your point, I'll take a little bit back what I say, and all I'll say is, as long as both parties are fine with it, it's whatever. But I do think it can be a little groomish.
It's definitely stereotypical for the older guys to be weird. Towards the younger female crowd. So I don't think that's like not a fact. It's definitely more so that way. It's a lot like the context and way about they go about it most of the time is always creepier than the older woman going after the younger calf.
Yeah.
With the old bull.
How did we even get talking about the meme account again? I don't remember. I think you might have mentioned a meme or something.
I was talking about juggalos.
The clowns.
The clowns,
we got going.
The ICP. Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah, ICP. Yeah, dude. Clowns are just fucking weird, man.
They are.
There's like no reason to have them anymore.
I just started this documentary.
Yeah.
Short series. So if you don't want to, I'm not the type to get invested on series. If I see something that's like fucking eight episodes long, I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't want to commit to something that long. If it's like 3,
unless
I can
it's
do
Tiger King.
Tiger King, I did.
Yeah.
I crushed that shit. Or American Horror Story. But this is John Wayne Gacy.
Oh, I saw that one. Yeah. Is it good?
Yeah. Fucking weird, dude. Dude killed 29 kids, all young boys. Mm-hmm.
Well, did he bury him in his backyard or something?
Buried him in his crawl space, so like under his house.
Oh, my God.
I think all of them except like 2. 2 he buried out in his backyard because he didn't have any space under his house left. I mean, imagine 20-some bodies under your house.
Jesus Christ. You know what's... Maddie and I were talking about that, too. I feel like in the 70s and before, it's kind of easy to be a serial killer, man.
Yeah.
Because, one thing I point out to Maddie, besides fingerprint, whatever, is if your daughter, your brother, you go missing...
You can track their last position, most likely.
Nowadays, you can. Yeah, that's what I was going to get at, was like, you can't call them and say, hey, where are you? Or track their phone, or see the last time they posted, or anything like that. There's none of that. Mm-mm. And so there's no trace of people. The police don't have these files and reports that they do now. Yeah. And there's not really camera surveillance. There's like none of this shit.
Yeah.
So it's like you're just hoping you catch someone like in the act.
Yep. So just like you said, and I'm not trying to spoil too much, this hopefully gets you to go check it out maybe if you have a little free time. But they were saying all these bodies that have been decomposing because it went from like 72 all the way to like 78 that he had put bodies on the ground, shallow burials. Most of them were just bones. A little bit of flesh left on most of them, but they couldn't tell who was who unless they had dental records. They couldn't do DNA testing back then and whatnot. So most of these people were still unknown. They just all went missing by the police. And the creepiest thing of it all, and hopefully this gives you a little chills. Well, not in a good way. It's fucked up. But the way he would usually get some of these kids, young boys, to kidnap them and restrain them, because he wasn't like a big guy himself.
All from SARMs.
Well, he was a clown.
Yeah, I know.
So he did clown part-time, but he was also at all these businesses, was well off, had a bunch of businesses, plenty of money, well-respected in the community, had big positions and roles in the community, and which is crazy. But he did these tricks. He'd invite them over. They'd have some drinks. They'd start talking about sex and this and that. And then he was like, hey, let me show you this trick. It's a handcuff trick. And he would put handcuffs on himself and put it behind his back, shuffle around and be like, oh, I got out of them without the key. Now let me show you how to do it. So he'd put the handcuffs on the boy with it behind his back. And the kid would be like, all right, so how do you get out? He's like, you don't.
Oh.
You don't.
Gee, that makes me feel bad.
And
that
it's
makes
like,
me feel sick.
Oh, fuck.
What the fuck would you do?
Dude, I'm running through a wall head first with my hands behind my back, dude. Through it. Through it. Well, first off, headbutting him, and then I'm out. Nut kicks, headbutts, and then I'm out.
God, what would you do, man?
How do you get out? You don't.
That's the thing. Okay, but really.
Yeah, so check that out if y'all have it.
There's another one they dropped recently with this cat from the UK. I'm going to look it up before I fuck it up. Like Jerry Savile or something like that. Hold on.
Like same time frame?
Yeah, Jimmy Savile. Essentially, picture this. Dude is like the kingpin popular figure in England. Mm-hmm. Okay, kind of like our The Rock Johnson, right? Just like well loved on every show, well respected, the guy, like comes around Christmas time, like, you know, the kingpin, everyone loves him. Okay, he's friends with politics, celebrities, all that jazz, okay? Well, turns out, dude over his, like, career had, like, molested, sexually assaulted, like, 500 kids.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, dude.
How long ago was that?
Sad thing is, so it's, I think between, like, 70s and, like, 2000.
Yeah.
But the problem is, dude died in 2011, and they only, like, all these reports were coming in, but they were like, nah, like, I don't believe that, or, like, they were just, like, ignoring credible evidence, and they only really accepted these things and looked into them after he died. So dude probably just died with, like, a smile on his face, like, he never got caught.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucked up.
It is. And it's like, even if you did get him by the time,
it's too late.
It's like,
you know? It's too late from the first person.
Well,
know?
for sure.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, if he was older and these things started coming out a couple years before he dies, like, what do you do?
Yeah.
You aren't like really getting much out of it by blocking him up.
It's just super fucked. Sometimes you hear these stories, you're like, what the shit?
Yeah, especially with the kids, man. It's like, what's going on with what about kids?
Yeah. I think it's like mostly teens. That's still kids though.
Still.
But just for reference on like age group, yeah. But he would like volunteer at this hospital, and that's when he'd get him or something like that. Fucked. Yeah, I know.
Oh shit.
I know. But
all right, let's get
in
out
brighter
of this
news. I was gonna say, I know. In brighter
news,
you know, when I woke up this morning, I was like, holy shit, my shoulders more sore than they've been in years. Like front down.
Oh yeah.
Because yesterday I was telling you, me, Jordan, and Rich did this like functional workout. We've been doing functional workouts every Sunday. Only Jordan joined last week, and then now Rich and Jordan this past Sunday. Probably be a routine thing. But point is, one of the things we did in the circuit was a barbell overhead carry. We had 95 pounds, so nothing crazy, but holding that overhead and walking with it. We walked basically 20 yards down, basically to the dumpster, maybe like 30 yards, and then back. And it was hard, but sometimes it's like the delayed soreness you get the next day. You're like, holy shit. And yeah, my shoulders are fried.
I can imagine having to like step and stabilize.
Yeah.
And rocking back and forth.
Yeah. But I think I'm going to try and routinely keep that in. Because, you know, one thing I think about, man, is, especially as I slowly start to alter my split a little bit, is, you know, how do these CrossFitters, these functional athletes, whatever, still stay big as fuck? And they just do A, compound movements, but B, just different shit. Like, I might get just as much shoulder hypertrophy from only doing shoulder press and like overhead carries and snatches and shit than doing a bunch of lateral raises, you know?
Yeah.
Like maybe not the same shape. That's not what I'm saying. But as far as like having big shoulders,
beefy looking
shoulders.
Because I've even seen powerlifters, some, and most of the time they're probably enhanced or taking drugs. But so everything kind of still grows. But like they only bench. They really don't do a lot of like shoulder presses, lateral raises, or anything like that. And their shoulders are ginormous. And somehow their backs, like their lats, will be big as shit.
That's what I'm getting at.
I never see them do really a row or a pull up. They're just doing deadlifts.
That's what I'm getting at. So, you know, as I move soon and have a garage gym, I'm almost excited to have the limited options because then I'll have to incorporate more of this stuff. You know, almost always barbell, dumbbell rows, these things like that, and pull ups. It'll be interesting to see kind of how my physique changes for better or worse over time with that. But yeah, it's always interesting.
That is fun. I was definitely trying to push myself out of the comfort zone a little bit this past weekend. Friday, I went for a run. It's like the first time I went running.
Dude, I never asked you about that.
Yeah.
How was that?
It's rough.
Awkward?
Awkward. And it was like when I warmed up about 10 minutes, stretching out, getting moving, and then I walked down to the pond at Forest Hill Park, and I was like, all right, I'm feeling pretty good. I should be able to run a fucking mile. Breeze, I might go for 2. And I started, and about like 100 yards in, my ankles and calves started like killing me.
Oh,
like that
pain or fatigue?
Like no, just
build
musculature. Up? Like the muscle, the little string of muscle right on the inside of the tibialis, I guess that is.
Tibialis anterior on the front of your shit. Yeah.
That,
your ankle
striking.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, dude. Like I was like, I don't know if I can finish this mile. Like it hurt. Like I wasn't even gassed. It was more so I couldn't pick up my speed to keep up with the pain a little bit. So
I know
pain,
what you
it was
mean.
just like an ache. And the next day, when I was here Saturday, I didn't come Saturday, but the next day, getting up and down, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But mile was decent. Want to guess the time?
11:20.
Okay, you went good on me. It was like a 10:20 or something like that.
Okay.
I'd have to pull it up, but it was like a 10 something.
Yeah.
10:20, 10:30, something like that, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was. I have to look. I've tracked it on
I'll
pull
it up.
Pull up the stats.
Yeah, we'll see the official.
But after that, I went and I was like, you know what, fuck this. I'm not gonna, because I was like, I could cool down and like go for another mile and push it, but I was like, you know what, let me go walk. So I walked for like another 30 minutes after that, a couple laps, and I didn't track that, but felt good. And it was amazing how it was amazing sort of how I've never used those almost, I guess, that muscle or whatever in my ankles with the mobility and the just being able to strike off my toes a little bit better instead of running so flat-footed like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
I was trying to stay more on the balls of my feet a little bit more.
Yeah, it took me a while.
I never used that. Unless you run, you don't really
Before
use
I
that.
really got regularly into running, I used to always still try and do like a mile or two every Friday on my rest days. And I used to do the laps at VCU's gym. And I remember, I think on Joe's podcast, somebody was saying like, oh, like don't heel strike, blah, blah, blah. And some people still advocate that, not like for heel striking, but that it's not as big of a deal as people say. But either way, the guy on the podcast was saying like, oh, like, you know, balls of your feet, whatever. So I started doing it. And when the first like 5-10 runs you do it, you have to consciously think about every step.
Yeah.
But in due time, you naturally kind of alter your form to where you don't really have to think about it, which is nice. So... yeah, but that is one thing that, you know, I made the note of trying to correct.
It almost, because I didn't do it the whole time, I tried to stay on the balls of my feet a little bit. I almost noticed that it gives you a little bit more forward inertia, I think.
Yeah.
It almost helps you keep moving forward a little bit better, but it's tough.
It's more springy for your joints.
It's definitely tough on the joints at first right now. So maybe I'll get used to it, but I'm going to try at least on the weekends maybe, or maybe during the week if it's like a later day and I don't have time to. The reason I did it was not even because I wanted to run. It's because I was like, man, by the time I get out of work and go home, pack the bike up, fuel up for that, and get the bike down to the Capitol Trail, it'll be late as shit. I was like, let me just go run real quick. Just try that. And I was like, well, shit, I suck at running. Like, really bad. So let me focus on doing that. Not like a bunch, but at least run a mile here or there, you know?
Yeah. I think everyone can benefit. But to your point, if you haven't ran in a while, Yeah, that first couple times, like your shins, your calves,
Dude.
sore as shit.
And it was within like 100 yards.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. My run's been going good. Just did 20 miles last week, like for the week. And I just really taken this like tiny increases each week, and that's been doing me pretty well. Legs are feeling better each week. And I'm slowly getting my fitness back. Like Sunday, or was it Saturday, I did 6 miles. Still not really like focused on pushing any pace, just going by feel. But going by feel, I'm starting to just move a little bit more effortlessly. So like I ran a 9:58 average for the 6 miles, and just 2-3 weeks ago I was probably like a 10:20, 10:30 for those.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's starting to come back a little bit, which is good to see and feel. And especially as the weather gets warmer, I'd like to be a little bit more springy and ready to go. But yeah, I'm just hoping that by the time we move, which should be like another 6 or 8 weeks, I can kind of be back to usual, back to like a consistent mid-30s mile per week. And hopefully all the stuff that I'm doing now and taking a slower route to returning will keep me out of it. It's just always in the back of your mind, like, I don't want to get injured again.
Oh, dude. It just sucks, not only physically but mentally, because then it's like it puts you down. It's like, man, I got another 6 or 8 weeks to fight through this again before it calms down or whatever.
Like in my mind, I'm like, if I could only ever do these 6 mile runs, I could never increase it. I'd at least take that and just be happy that I can like run every time. You know,
fastest 10K runner.
Fuck yeah,
out there.
Exactly. But obviously, I have bigger pursuits, whatever.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the event yesterday.
Yeah, the event was awesome. I wasn't, and I heard many other people say this, that they weren't expecting that many people to show up. Like, it was a big crowd.
Yeah, we had a big crowd. It was, for reference, the Iron Rumble. It was a little powerlifting meet we held here. It wasn't like sanctioned or with any federation, but just more like a fun time to compete and in a competition setting. So we set that up yesterday, and great turnout, as you mentioned. A lot of spectators, a lot of family, friends, boyfriend, girlfriend here, all that. A lot of coaches, and it ran way smoother than I was expecting.
That's my first one here, and I think that was very smooth.
Yeah, we had never obviously done it before, and I had never used this certain software before called Lifting Cast, and so I was kind of learning that. Kind of tested some things, but kind of didn't test stuff as much as I probably should have before doing it. But yeah, I had it uploaded. Thanks to Matt, and Jordan, and Kelsey for helping with like loading and spotting, because obviously I can't do everything at once. Maddie was great with obviously helping me manage stuff and helping people get their weight and get checked in at the front. And thanks Jahan for being a ref, judge, whatever you want to call it as well. And yeah, thank you for everyone for coming out and competing, because it was just awesome, especially, as we were getting through the end of the day, which again, like, it ran way smoother and like not faster per se than I thought, but on time. I was expecting things to like get slow and we'd run late, but actually it was pretty good. But especially towards the end when people just started like, screaming after every deadlift, they were super hype and animated. Like, that energy just fed to the next lifter and the next lifter, and like, everyone could just, really feel it.
Yeah,
and
that was dope.
Looking back at some of the clips, I threw up a little like reel this morning for it. It's just, I was getting like some chills, just seeing people really like push that veins bulging out their neck, finishing a lift, and yeah, it was really cool to see. And yeah, we'll definitely probably have to do it again in the future, because I think it was great.
Speaking of like a sanctioned thing, is that something in the works at all? You think?
We're on the books for a USPA meet.
Yeah.
At the very last Sunday of October.
Okay. I had somebody ask, and I was like, I think it's in October, but
yeah, I haven't heard from the guy yet, and I need to check in with him. But we should. We're technically on their website and on their schedule.
I wonder, I realize y'all are moving off here not too long from now, but it's like, I wonder what other type of event, like functional event, could be done with this parking lot or something like that.
There could be a lot of things. I just don't know what the, what do you call it? The demand is for something like that right now. Because whenever we've tried to do little functional things here or there for events, now we didn't push it hard, but like the one when we opened, and then I think we did one at one point for a party in the gym. People don't always do these like challenges or whatever, and they're not used to doing like these functional movements. A lot of people are either bodybuilding or powerlifting, which is fine, but I don't know. I like trying different stuff, but not everyone does. You know what I mean?
And I kind of just want to compete. Like not
Just
not
compete
that I
in something.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it didn't I mean I could compete powerlifting or whatever, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to do something besides the normal.
Well, I remember we wanted
I
to do
almost
the
wanna go
dodgeball.
yeah,
We
that
wanted to
would've
do
been
the
fun as shit.
dodgeball, or we could do like a water gun or something like that. But
Like I almost want to do like a Spartan, one of the Spartan things,
Yeah.
mud runner things.
Yeah.
You know, just to see what the fuck it's all
Yeah.
about.
yeah, yeah. There's just something fun about competing. I think that's what you and me are getting after a little bit of this endurance stuff, because we don't want to go through the dieting of a bodybuilding show, and like the
Yeah.
show itself isn't that fun, at least for us. And same deal with like the powerlifting, but we want something to kind of test ourselves, see
Yeah.
it. Yeah, there's something fun about it,
It
for sure,
definitely is.
for sure.
And speaking of like competing, because even before the clot, I had thought about, all right, what do I do after this 100-mile ride that I'm going to do? And I remember looking up a few races that are around here, and now after running this past Friday, I was like, well, if I can continue over time, getting better at that, not being great, but getting better, and I eventually knock out the 100-mile. That's like first on the to-do list, which whether it's my fastest time that I expected or whether me just getting it done, I think is going to be the biggest thing for me to like close that chapter and be like, all right, I did it. I wanted to maybe try and look for a triathlon of some sort. Yeah. And one of the smaller ones to where it's like a 5K run, like a 15, 16-mile ride, and then like I think a couple 100-meter swim, which that might be. I don't float.
The hard thing for swimming too is, I mean, you can practice at a pool, but like, especially since we don't have one, like you'd have to go get a gym membership or somewhere that has a pool, and then take the time to do that. As well as if you wanted to practice in open water, you'd have to go find like a spot around to do it. It gets a little tricky depending on like where you live, but yeah, I think that'd be awesome. I think that'd be really cool. Yeah, I'm hoping to, as long as things are going well, maybe knock out a half marathon race either before I leave or soon after I get to Colorado, find one to do, and then hopefully finish off like the year in the fall or maybe around August with a marathon.
Yeah.
See what we can do, but yeah, I don't know.
I follow this guy named Rasta Runner.
Yeah.
He's out in Montana. I think he's friends with Rob and Dana or whatever, and he posts a lot of outdoor running. He's a big endurance runner, and I think he just did a 100-mile race not too long ago, and always posting these crazy stories of how like beautiful the trails are. They just like look perfect.
Oh yeah, see it. Yeah, it does look perfect.
Yeah.
There's a lot more greenery, it looks like, in Montana than I'm expecting. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking.
Dude, Montana's like straight forest mode.
Yeah, well, I knew that. I think it's like a mix. So it's like mountainous, but then also it has to like flat land, you know? Which, sometimes you have a picture in your head of certain states, and then you realize like, oh, I mean, it's a very diverse state, just as like Virginia is. So it's like, Colorado has super farmland to like the east of Denver.
Yeah.
But then west, super mountainous, you know what I mean? Same with a lot of these other states. Yeah, I like his posts.
Yeah, he's got some fucking cool trails. And I don't even run, but it's like just the pictures and videos alone, it's like, damn, you sort of escape through it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, dude, I'm just, not to talk about myself, but I'm super stoked to just get out to some different trails around there just because, again, like, there is some trails in Virginia.
Yeah.
But you cannot tell me, like, hey, it equates to whether it's Colorado, a certain spot in California, whatever. Like, it's just having the accessibility of these things close. It makes a big difference, like this picture I'll show you. It doesn't really show the people listening, but essentially he's kind of running on this like dirt trail with some almost like desert-ish vegetation, would you call it? Like to the side, things like that, little shrubs and things like that. But that reminds me of near the Garden of the Gods is a trail, which is going to be like this beautiful park with red rocks, something like that, these different rock formations. It's only like 30 minutes from where we're going to be at. And I just can't imagine like being able to run. I don't know how long the trail is, but I'm sure it's something at least like 6 miles, if not more, running past like that all the time and just having that accessibility versus, the Cap Trail's nice, but it definitely has its boring spots, I
also think just besides, regardless of the people, the type of people, it sounds like you're more in a more laid back side of town, which is hopefully good. But Just like being too close to Richmond can be a little funny.
Yeah.
But it's just, I think being able to wake up and being in that, having that lifestyle of being able to wake up and be surrounded by that environment.
That's
might I don't know, bring some different
That's
energy.
100% it. Honestly, like besides, whatever I'm close to, whatever the state is, whatever, I think even if you just move 10 minutes from where you live now, the right people, the right environment and atmosphere around you, I think makes all the difference. Like if you wake up and you see mountains, you might just feel more happy, more inspired than if you look out and you see cityscape.
Yeah.
And some people, it's the inverse, you know? Some people want more like rural sprawl, like environment. Some people want it city and urban, you know? But I think that's a really good point is like, I don't know. It sounds simple, but just, you know, where you live or what you're surrounded by can drastically just change your mood, which change your behavior, which changes everything, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not to beat on it too much, but like, you know, the way you start your day off, if you're starting your day off straight into traffic in downtown, that's just only going to roll into the next thing you do for the day. If you're able to wake up and just take a big deep breath of mountain air and just like, you know, be not surrounded by, you know, shoulder to shoulder, nut to butt with a bunch of people with stacked up downtown, you know. I don't know.
One last note, and then we can wrap up the show, is I'm starting to get like you with, I know your YouTube videos get a bunch of, how do I start a supplement company? What's your distributor?
Yeah.
My reel about the gym has done well. Happy about that, but I get so many like comments and DMs now. People are like, "Hey, can you give me a call? I have some questions about like opening up a gym or how to start a gym." Or, "Hey, can you give me some pointers?"
Them Google back.
Like, "Hey, I have some questions. I want to open up my own gym. Could I ask you some questions?" It's like, I don't want to be the mean guy because I also had questions too when I started. But I took it upon myself to A, figure them out, but B, if you want to ask anybody a question, whether it's a runner, whether it's a business person, whether it's, you know, someone big like an Andy Frisella, whether it's like you or me, small business owner, you got to come with a question. Don't come with, "Hey, can you take the time to walk me through how to start a gym?" No. Ask me a specific question, you know, like, "Hey, where'd you get X equipment?" Or, "What should I do as far as like space? Do I need AC in my gym?" Like, give me a real question rather than, "Hey, can you tell me exactly what to do?"
Yeah, because there's a threshold of like whether you got it in you or not. And like, I guess it's like a baby bird leaving out the nest to spread its wings. Like first, you need to spread your wings first, and then once you're flying and you got questions, then holler at me.
One, it's that. One, it's like, are you even going to do what I tell you to do?
Yeah.
Do you have what it takes? Two, I don't even know you. You met me 3 minutes ago when you saw my post. Why do I owe you anything, or why do you deserve anything from me? You don't even know me.
I think most people are not going to use any of the advice, even if they did give it out. Because
and three, it might not even work for them.
No.
You know?
Oh, for sure. You don't know this scenario or whatever. But if they aren't taking the initiative to like just go ahead and start by themselves and then like figuring out, like we've done, you know, with Gym Flow or the gym, it's just start and figure it out as you go. Most likely, I feel like 95% chance they aren't going to go. They're always going to be asking the next person. It's like. The next person with the questions box, they're going to ask them. And then the next person, they're going to ask them, and they're just going to be
well, they want a step one, step two, done. Yeah. It's not step one and step two.
No, it's start and figure it out as you go.
And sometimes it's not in a direct order. It's like you're all over the place. Yeah, it's just like there's no rule book or process for like really anything in life, you know?
And I still to this day will have questions in my head. I'm like, man, I could hit this person up, or I could hit, you know, because I know people that are more well off than me in the supplement industry, a lot of people, and I'm like, oh, I could hit them up and be like, how do you do it? But they wouldn't know. I mean, they it's their way, you know? And at the same time, I kind of got to just learn and figure it out on my own.
Well, same thing with and I appreciate, you know, the feedback I've gotten from people, but a lot of people will ask me, "Hey, like I like your reels, whatever," because some of them have done well, and people will say, "Hey, either, you know, what font do you use, or how do you edit these, or how do you add text to your videos, or whatever, or, you know, how do you film these?" And again, I appreciate, you know, the compliments, whatever. but it's like I can't walk you through everything I do, one, and two, it still comes out to you have to do it, and you have to have the creative eye for it. And most of the time, people want this magic thing. I'm just setting up a camera and filming myself. Yeah. Like, the only creative component to it, for the most part, is how I maybe chop the clip and how I position the camera. But for the most part, it's not, oh, what's the best camera? I had one guy mess me, okay, what camera would you recommend? I said, any Sony camera. He's like, okay, but which the best one? He said that. And I was like, dude, it depends. What do you want? What's your budget? How are you using it? Yeah, what's in your hand now? And there's no, best way to open up a gym, best way to start a business, best workout to do. There's no best. You have to figure out yourself, and you have to, get your hands dirty.
And I think and I still remind myself sometimes, because I'm not that, obviously, we're pretty original. We all have our own things going on. We're on our own path.
Yeah.
But you can look at somebody, like, let's say, for example, you doing reels. If I wanted to crush some reels like you, I'm going to watch you. I'm going to study you, and then I'm going to do the same thing and then
do something
put
like
my
it.
twist on it.
Exactly. Yeah, don't copy verbatim.
Because, you want to be original. You want to be yourself. But I'm going to study you, how you make this edit,
exactly.
when you put the text in, and be like, all right, well, I'm going to do that, but I'm going to do it how I would.
You can learn from somebody without verbatim copying them or without them walking you through exactly what to do. Because again, I could walk you through everything, take the camera settings, whatever. It didn't do anything for you. You still have to do it yourself.
And I think most people. I think the biggest part of that formula, besides the camera, besides the edits, besides the text, is they don't realize how consistent you are with it.
Yeah. And
that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and you have to be consistent even when you don't get views, hence this podcast.
Yeah.
Yes. We've done fucking 102 of these shits. Yes. And granted, we don't post them hardcore. We don't advertise it. We don't, really push it that hard. But at the same time, you do 100 of anything, you figured, okay, one of them at least, get a little buzz.
We have some cult following.
Yeah, we got some cult following for sure.
Plenty of people hit us up when we miss a week or two.
But to that point with anything, right, you have to just keep going even when the reward, you don't even see the carrot at the end of the stick. Yeah. You got to just believe there is a carrot.
For sure. And I think one thing why we continue to do this, because not everything has to have, you want it
because we're stupid.
To have result. Yeah, with that too. But you want things to have a result, and it's good when they are there, like a result comes back, some type of return. But there's a point in time where things are more so, I guess, spiritual, not in that
passion-driven.
Not in like a weird like religion way, but like it's a good release to turn on the mics, talk about our days, our goals, hopefully inspire some others while we do it.
Yeah.
And, build something out of that.
Sharing the good vibes,
So hopefully that's the main reason. We're not looking for like, if you're going to throw a sponsorship,
yeah,
go
we
ahead.
We will, yeah.
We'll sell our souls.
Yeah.
But more so, it's just cool to be able to, one day a week, sit down and chop the shit.
Yeah.
But anything for the rest of the week you got going on?
No, I hope there's good shit going on this week, though.
Yeah, I don't think so for me either. Nothing really on the books.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you for liking the podcast. Yep. Well, I hope you like the podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Share it and do all that jazz. Let us know what you think. Either message us, tell us in person, whatever it is. And we'll catch you guys in the next one.
See you guys.